This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Review, and what I'm looking at today is the first season of Netflix's V-Wars. And it's an interesting series. It's for the most part well done, but there's some huge issues with it. The biggest of those issues is that this series moves at a pace which doesn't make any sense. Think about it. If you recall the Netflix Marvel series, Iron Fist, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and so on, they tended to run for 13 episodes. They were given way too much time to do what they needed to do. And therefore, they tended to go into places that they didn't need to go. Those series should have had no more than 10 episodes. And that probably would have worked much better for them. V-Wars is the opposite of that, in that the first season runs 10 episodes. But the thing is, the pace of this series is so frantic, so frenetic, that it just kind of makes you wonder why they're not slowing it down a little. From the first episode, you get infection and spreading of a plague. The first episode! Keep in mind, this thing lasts about 10 episodes, if I recall. So why are they rushing it so much? It's well acted. I get the feeling it's expensive, but you don't necessarily see that money on screen. And the vampire effects are pretty good, but nothing that you haven't seen before. The story goes to interesting places. For instance, some of the vampires believe that they're the next evolution in humanity, so therefore they're trying to carve out a niche for themselves. It's an interesting approach, but at the same time, the series is in such a hurry to get somewhere, and you don't know where it's trying to rush off to, but it comes at the price of atmosphere. You do come to know the characters, but it's only because they're just thrown at you so often. The series just is in such a hurry to tell a story that it kind of steps on its own feet. And it's based on a comic book, but that's no excuse for such storytelling tactics. Only because there's some comics, the story will carry itself over for weeks till it reaches a conclusion, or even months till it reaches a conclusion. So why they're in such a hurry to tell this story is really weird. And I tried to watch V-Wars without comparing it to something significantly better, like The Strain, which was on FX. That was Chuck Dixon and Guillermo del Toro. But at the same time, I can find no reason that this story is paced as it is. It's not bad, it's watchable, it has enjoyable moments in fact, but it's ultimately forgettable because it doesn't seem to want to invest the time to tell us who these people are. The acting is for the most part good. Some actors do better than others, but without the time to explore who these characters are, everything's a blur, and it does a disservice to said actors. Because if they had more time to explore their characters, I think you can get richer performances out of them without expanding the episode length. As it stands, V-Wars is enjoyable. If there were a second season, I would watch it, but it's paced in such a way that it just kind of robs it of any kind of pathos or any kind of momentum it should have. This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Review. Peace.